Okay, there we go. All right, well, good morning. We're back for our second round of tutorials for the Realtour marketing tools. As you recall, yesterday we covered the top 4 marketing tools right here, this top row of tools. These are the tools that our agents use to market their listings. Today's session, we're going to cover these 4 down here in the bottom row. These ones are more about branding. Okay, so it's more, these are tools that the agent's going to use to brand themselves. And today's session will be shorter than yesterday, probably only about 40 minutes. So these ones are kind of fun to go through. Okay, so for branding tools, we have newsletters, we have a listing presentation, we have an email signature, and then we have House Hunt. And I lightly touched on House Hunt yesterday, but I'll show you what it is today so it'll make more sense. So let's get started with newsletters. I'm going to go create a newsletter. So we'll start from scratch. And I come to this page where I have to make a choice between the 2 different types of templates. We have ready to send newsletter templates. These ones are literally ready to go. They're full of images, they're full of text, articles, everything. You do not have to do anything. You can just pick one out of the library and you can send it out to your clients. So these ones are really good. We also have a build your own newsletter. So basically we provide you with a header and a footer, just those graphics, and then the body of the newsletter template is completely empty. So it's up to you if you want to upload your own pictures, type in or copy and paste your own articles, add your own links, all that stuff, okay? So you can choose between the 2 of them. So for today, we're going to click on a ready to send newsletter so we can see what those look like. Okay, so the first thing it wants us to do is give it a name. Now this is not a name that anybody is going to see anywhere. It's just in case if you're the kind of person who sends out a lot of newsletters, you might want to be able to, distinguish which newsletter you sent which month and to which group of clients. So you might want to call this something like, my November newsletter. Okay, whatever you want to call it. Then we'll just hit save. Okay, now this might look a little bit familiar from yesterday. Remember yesterday I showed you how when we were in the virtual tour and the e-flyer, there was always a navigation bar that stretched across the width of the page so you could jump around throughout the process. Same thing for newsletters. Right now we're in the template library and this looks familiar. It's basically the same setup as e-flyer template library and print material template library. We have all of our categories down the left-hand side, and then we have little thumbnails of the actual templates. So we've set up the library here a little bit in 2 different ways, depending how you want to look at it. You can view all the different themes by category, and if I click on this, I get all these different categories. And we have ones that are very real estate related, buyer's tips, and we have mortgage and insurance information. We have tips on selling, home maintenance. We also have some fun ones, holiday ones, entertaining, do-it-yourself and decorating. So we have a whole huge variety of newsletters, and you can, cherry pick which ones will suit which clients, okay? Because the whole point of sending these is to, it's like a relationship building tool for your clients. These are not designed for real estate agents to send to other real estate agents. So yesterday we went through e-flyers. E-flyers are designed to advertise a new listing, and they're meant for you to send out to other real estate agents. These are meant for you to send out to your clients. So if you just, if you just had a client, you just help them buy their first home, for the next few months, you might want to keep a relationship going, and you might want to send them some fun newsletters on how to decorate and, how to just anything that might pertain to them, something that they might be interested in, okay? So you can go through all of these, view by category, or to make your life even easier, you can choose a month. So it's November. If I click on November, these are these sort of November specific newsletters, okay? The ones that are most suitable for November. Now, just like yesterday with the e-flyers, I have a preview and a select button. If I want to see what it looks like bigger, I can click on preview, and I get a pop-up, and I can see, okay, so this one's for Thanksgiving. If I scroll down, you can see all the articles and the pictures and stuff right there in the body of the newsletter. At the bottom, we have room for your headshot, logo, and all of your contact information. So this is just a pop-up, so I can close that. If this is the one I want to send, just like yesterday, I click on select. Okay, so now I'm in the template editor. Now, the difference between these newsletters and the e-flyers that we went through yesterday, we are not going to edit any of the content, okay? In fact, we can't. I can click in here and I can't actually edit anything. But if I scroll down to the bottom, The one place I can make some edits is in the footer. Now the footer has already auto-populated with my headshot, my logo, and my name and contact information. You'll remember yesterday I talked about how if you filled in your account information and uploaded your headshots and logos, everything will auto-populate into our templates. Now it doesn't mean that you can't edit them, but they're there. If you're good to go, you can move on to the next step. If you want to edit them, we have this little editor box right here with these different tabs, contact details. If you want to edit any of these, you can just type right in the field. So for example, if I have a different, maybe I got a new cell phone, I want to change that, I can click right in here and delete. You'll notice that the phone number has deleted right here from the footer, and I could add my new phone number. Okay, and as I add it, it adds it right here into the footer. Okay, same with my headshots and logos. I can click on the headshot tab and just click on a new headshot. Okay, new headshot, there we go. Same with my logos. If I want to use a different logo, I just click and it just automatically updates it right there in the footer. Okay, we also have a tab for social media. So if I want to add a link to any of my social media, my Facebook, my YouTube, my LinkedIn, I can just copy and paste the URLs for my own personal Facebook page. Now just to save time, I'm not going to go through and do that. I'm just going to add a letter to each of these just so we can see the icon appear on the newsletter. Okay, so let's say I've copied and pasted my proper URLs. I can also add a little personal message to the newsletter, okay, which is kind of nice so that, you know, if you've got some new clients, they don't know you that well, they might, you know, just get a newsletter out of the blue and go, what's this for? So in here you could type, you know, hi Bob, congrats on the new home. Have an awesome, Thanksgiving weekend. There you go. Okay, so you can type any kind of little, you know, you can type a whole paragraph, a couple paragraphs, whatever you want in the personal message. Okay, so that is all we are going to do on the newsletter template editor page. It's pretty easy, okay? That's why these ones are pretty popular. Now I can either hit continue to move to the next step, or I can use my navigation bar and I'm going to go to the view proof page. So that's next. Now, before I get to the view proof page, it's going to force me to enter a subject line for my newsletter. So this was just like yesterday when we did the e-flyers. You have to have a subject line because these are sent out through people's emails. And when you send someone an email, usually you put a subject line in there. Okay, so okay, any kind of subject line you want, hit save. And now we're in the view proof page. Okay, and again, like yesterday, I was talking about how important it is to view the proof, especially when you're in the e-flyers. Same thing with newsletters, because this is going out as an email. And if you blast this out and there's a mistake in it, or you've got just something you didn't want to send, you can't get it back. Once you've sent the email, they've got it. So take a minute. This is what your proof is going to look like. Okay, there's my subject line. Here's my email address. Here's my little message that I put at the top. Scroll down. I can't change the body, so it's good to go. Okay, here's my headshot, all my stuff. Here are my social media links. Now these are live, so if I was to click on these, if I had put in proper addresses, I should click on each of these and make sure they go to the right page. Okay? There we go. Now, if I want to make changes, I can click on Edit or use my navigation bar and go back to the template editor and then jump back to View Proof. If I'm ready, I'm happy with everything, I'm going to move to the next step. So I can click Continue or Distribution. Will take me to the same place. Now, the one thing that's different about these newsletters, unlike the e-flyers were designed to go out to other real estate agents. So we had the map blast tool you might remember from yesterday. I just clicked and I got a pop-up Google map and I was able to make a target area. Okay, that database only has real estate agent email addresses. And these newsletters are not designed to go out to real estate agents. They're designed to go out to your clients or whoever you want. So your only option for distribution is using your own contact lists. So if I click on this, I get a pop-up. It's the same contact list as I used for my e-flyers. So I can come in here and I can type in manually, if I want, a whole bunch of email addresses, or I can copy and paste a whole bunch in here. Okay, I can give the distribution list a name and save it, and then it will show up down here with all my other distribution lists. If I've made any other distribution lists back when I did an e-flyer, those lists are going to show up in here, okay? You never have to remake them from scratch. Once you make it once and save it, it will show up anytime you click and this pop-up comes up, okay? You can also upload a CSV file if you have your own little Excel, spreadsheet with a database. You can import your own contacts from Gmail and Yahoo and make your own distribution list. Okay, so let's say I'm going to send this to let's say I have a gold list of clients. They're my best clients. I, always send my e-flyers to them. Even if they're not interested, I just like to stay in touch with them. I just tick 11 people there and I hit continue. Whoops, that's not a real address, so we'll get rid of it. There we go. Okay, now I'm back on the distribution page. I can see my total right here. That's who it's going to. Now I have two options for blasting it out. If you're going to be blasting these a lot, like several times a month, even once a month, you can choose a monthly subscription for $19.99. Okay, you would sign up for that and then you would just be auto-charged $19.99, but you can go in and send countless, endless amounts of newsletters. Okay, there's no limit to how many you can send. So if you have a lot of specific clients and you want to send specific newsletters to specific individual clients, this might be a good option for you because you can send, as many as you want. If you're the kind of person who maybe just wants to send a newsletter, maybe at Christmas time, just to say Merry Christmas, thank you to all your clients, it might be better for you to just do a one-time, like pay-as-you-go, and that's $29.99, okay? Maybe if you do twice a year, that's a better option for you. But if you think you're going to do it all the time, then go for the subscription because you can, go as much as you want. And I do believe you can cancel your subscription at any time. So you're not locked in for a year or anything, as far as I know. Okay, let's just say we're going to do the one use. Here's my pricing. I hit continue. Oh, there's my subject line, continue, and then it just takes me to the shopping cart. Okay, and just like with all of our products, same thing with the e-flyer, as soon as I pay for this, it's going to go into the queue and it's going to get blasted out. So it could go out in as quick as 2 minutes. It might take 10 minutes if there's someone in the queue ahead of me, but it will start going out immediately. Okay, so let's delete that out of the shopping cart. Let's go back to the home page. Now let's quickly take a look at the build your own just so you can see the difference in the back end. So I'm going to go create a newsletter again. This time I'm going to click on build my own. I have to give it a name, my own newsletter. Whoops. Okay, now this time I have the option of choosing between 4 different layouts, and it's just the layout of the content. So you have like a left sidebar, right, horizontal blocks, columns. Let's just choose the left sidebar. Okay, again, it's going to take me into the back end, the template library, same as the other one, only this library is a bit different. We don't have as many categories, okay? Let's say we're going to do a corporate one. These are my corporate ones. If I want to see what it looks like bigger, I can click on preview. So that's what we've given you a header and an image in the footer, but everything else is empty. This is the one I want to go with. I just hit select and it opens it up. I'm in the template editor. Okay, my tabs up here, there's one for photos and I can upload images. Okay, so it's up to me to provide my own images. And you remember yesterday with the e-flyer, I just clicked on upload images and then I have on my desktop, I have a folder called images that I use for everything. I'm just going to upload one picture. Okay, and we can watch it uploading. It's kind of a big picture. I should probably choose a smaller one for these tutorials, but here we go. Okay, once it uploads, I'm going to see a nice little thumbnail of it right here in my little photo bucket. Okay, now if I want, I can drag and drop this, I can drag and drop my picture into the template, just like yesterday you saw with the e-flyer, e-flyers. If I click on this, I can make it bigger so it fills up the window. Okay, and then I can, add my own text. Okay, you can change the headline and just click right on top of it. Okay, my new headline, anything you want it to be. You have a few editing options up here. You can bold, italic, you can change the font. You've got a few fonts to choose from. You can change the size and the color. Okay, So you have a few more options in here, okay? And then you can actually start typing in articles if you want, or you can copy and paste them from something online that you found. You can add links and things. You can add new rows if you want this newsletter to get longer, longer, longer. There's no limit to how long it can be, so you can add new rows and add more stuff. Just like with the Ready to Send newsletters, you can add social media. So again, I'm just going to type in a couple letters here just to save us some time. Again, I can add my own, add my own message, okay? And then again, I have my headshots and logos, only this time I'm going to drag and drop them in and drag and drop my logos, okay? That kind of stuff. So it's very much a build your own situation. It just depends what kind of person you are. We have some clients who love the build your own, and then we have most clients, they don't want to, it's a lot of work. You have to come up with all the content. So I think I mentioned this yesterday. We have found that the products we have where the agent has to do the least amount of work, those are always our most popular products. So we designed our e-flyers and stuff the way we did so that everything auto-populates, and all you have to do is drag and drop your pictures and you're done. We find that those are our most popular products. So not a lot of people want to do the build your own, and you can understand why. Agents are busy, and it's hard if you're, it's hard to come up with all the content to go in, but some people prefer these. Okay? When you're done, you can hit continue or use the navigation bar and view your proof. Again, it's going to ask for a subject, my subject. You can type in whatever you want, but this is going to actually be in the email subject, so it should be legitimate so people will open it. Okay, here I am on the view proof, just like we saw a few minutes ago. Add my own message. Here's the body of my newsletter. There's my social media. Okay, I didn't add anything else just to save time. And distribution. Okay, so the difference between the ready to send and the build your own, when it comes to distribution, you do have the option of using the map blast. And that's just because people might be using these blank templates as advertising a listing. So the content in your blank newsletter might actually be, pertinent to the real estate community. So if you want to send this out to the real estate community, you can use the map blast for this one. All right. I'll just click on this just to refresh. We saw this yesterday, okay? So it creates a target area for you, okay? And then you can change the size of the target area. You can move it around. Whatever you want to do, it's going to recalculate how many agents are in that area and how much it's going to cost. You can add an additional target area, move it up here. There we go. It's going to calculate how many agents and how much it's going to cost. Okay, when you're happy with your target areas, you just hit continue. Back on the distribution page. And again, if you want to add some of your own specific emails, you can type them in. You can choose one of your client lists. You can upload, hit continue. Okay, so here's the summary of who it's going to go to, contacts, cost. Okay, I can hit continue. It goes into my shopping cart. Once I pay for it, it goes out, and that's it. It's done. Okay, I'm going to hit delete just to get rid of that. Go back home. All right, so we've just gone through the newsletters. So we've shown you how to do the ready to send newsletters and then the build my own. The next branding product that we have offered now, it's fairly new. It's called a listing presentation. Okay, now what it really is like a digital resume that an agent can use. It's all information about the agent and the services that the agent can offer their clients. So it's a little tool if they want. It's something that they can send out to a prospective new client, or if they have a meeting with a new client, it's a little visual presentation they can show the client, and they can do a leave behind as well. So let's go in and let's create a new one. Okay, once again, I've got a navigation bar right here across the top. It's dumping me immediately into the template library because we're starting from scratch. So this template library is a little different in the sense that you choose the color theme you want, and then you have the templates here. Now this is a fairly new product. So because it's new, we've only made 2 templates to get started. If it becomes more popular, we will make more templates for people to choose from. So you can choose the different colors. Let's say we want to go green or burgundy. I've got these 2. Let's say I want to preview it. So I can click preview and I get a pop-up. This is what the finished product of the listing presentation will look like. Okay, so here's my cover page, and I can change this content. Okay, I can turn my pages. There's my topics of discussion, or I can use the little control down here and click next page. Okay, so this first section is all about the real estate agent's profile. Now, obviously, when you're making your presentation, you're going to change this text to be your name, right? Okay, I can also use these controls up here. Okay, so we have a section on profile, we have a section on the agency profile, we have a section on staging, we have a section on pricing. Now, as I said a few minutes ago with the newsletter, same thing goes with listing presentation. We've found that if we provide most of the content, people are more likely to use it. If you give someone a blank template and say, okay, it's up to you to come up with all the content for your listing presentation, we haven't had any requests for that. If we had some agents who were like, you know what, I really like a blank one so I could fill in my own stuff, then we can create a blank one. But for now, we've created templates that have there's probably 85 or 90% of the content in here. You can leave it if you want to. So for example, if you're happy with these staging strategy, you can just leave all the text as it is. If you want to change the text, you'll be able to click in here and edit it. But if you want to just leave it alone, you can just skip this whole section and leave it alone. I'm going to jump to the end. At the back, we have a closing statement section, which you're going to change. We have testimonials. Obviously, you know, you're going to add your own testimonials in there. The back cover just has headshot, contact information, logo. Okay? So that's a preview. Let's say we're happy with that one, and that's the one we want to use. I would just click select. Now I have to give my presentation a name. Let's call this my November 2016 listing presentation. Okay, create presentation. Okay, it's going to generate the pages. There's not a lot of auto-populating in this one, but it's pretty big, so it takes a few seconds. And as I mentioned, whenever we're on a webinar, everything always runs a little bit slower. Okay, so here we are in the template editor. Now, as I said, there's not a lot to edit, but the front cover and the back cover, you have a few options. So for example, I can mouse over any of these text fields, right? And I can add in my own text. So I get the text box editor pops up, and I can add my client's name. Okay, and I can bold, I can italicize, change the, change the size. I can add a bit more text if I want. I can hit OK, and it's going to render that change. It's going to render it right in front of me. Just like we saw with the eFlyer, you don't have to leave this page to see your changes. It'll render it right in front of you. Okay, now I can also put my own picture on the front cover. So if I want to make a good impression, I might drive over to Bob's house that he's going to sell, take a picture of it. I can upload the image in here, and then once it's in here, I can drag and drop my image into the front of my presentation, hit refresh. It's going to render it. And now I'm showing Bob a presentation and his house is on the front cover. Okay? Same thing with your logo. Your headshots and logo are right here. Same ones that you've uploaded when you did your My Account. If you want to change your logo, drag and drop, just like with eFlyers, hit refresh. Okay, oh, I think I have a question. Sorry, Stephanie. Okay, Stephanie's got a question. Do you guys have ready-made newsletter templates that would be relevant for a title company to sell to realtors? You know, at the moment, we do. We have a few clients from Fatco who've been sending out monthly newsletters. Amanda, I don't know if you've met Amanda yet. She does all our marketing and she's our copywriter. She handles all of our client support. She's our newsletter guru. She makes all the newsletters for everybody, and there's a handful of sales reps that she makes custom newsletters for. So I can give you, here, I'll type in Amanda's email address, and you can get in touch with her, and she will make you one, whatever you want to put in it.
Okay, that's fabulous. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, she can cobble together. You could pick out one that exists and said, I want to take these 3 articles from the Thanksgiving one, but I also want to add these couple things that are relevant to agents in my, area. So she can make that for you. Yeah, she's amazing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no worries. Okay, so listing presentation, as I mentioned, we can go through the pages. You'll see that as I mouse over these text fields, I could click in them and make changes if I wanted to, or if I'm happy with the way this is, I can just leave it alone. Now I should probably add obviously you're going to, you need to go through it because there are places where you do need to add your own name and your own information. And again, it will render with every change I make. I can just go through page by page by page. If there is a section that I don't want to include, I can just delete. That page is now gone from my presentation, okay? So you can do that as well. And if I jump to the very end, there's my headshot, all my contact information, and I can still change it. I can click on any of these and change them. So that's the listing presentation, okay? You can make you have to make some edits to it because it's your information in there, but the bulk of it in the middle is good to go if you're happy with that. Now I can click continue or navigation bar to view my proof. Okay, and again, this is just the finished product. So you can go through all the pages, make sure everything is as it should be. Okay, when you're done, send it to the shopping cart. I believe these are $39.99. Yes, $39.99. So the thing with the listing presentation is that you could pay for this listing presentation once, show it to a client, but then a few months later, if you've got a new client and you want to use the listing presentation again, if you want, you can just go into this existing one, make the relevant edits, and send it to your next client without paying again. So that's up to you. If you're the kind of person who likes to keep each individual listing presentation, then you can just buy a new one each time, or you can just go into your existing one, make the edits, and just repeat, use it over and over again. So you only really have to invest the $39.99 the one time. I'm going to delete that out of the shopping cart, and I'm just going to go back to my listing presentations. Okay, so I'm back in. Now I'm on the existing presentations. These are ones that I've already done and paid for. They're good to go. Our presentations, like everything, we made them so that they are 8.5 by 11. This is so you could download a PDF of the finished product and then you could print it and bind it. If you wanted to give someone a little booklet, a little leave behind booklet, you could do that as well. You can also click right here and watch it, and then you can copy the URL. So right here, I can copy that URL and I can send that to someone in an email. So if I said, oh, Bob, I can send Bob an email and say, hey, Bob, click the link below to watch my listing presentation, okay? If you don't want to meet the person in person, you can just send them a link. I'll just close that. Okay, so you have those options there. All right, back to the home page. The final product we are going to go through is the email signature, and it is related to House Hunt, as you'll see. So let's go into email signature. Let's create a new one. Okay, now I have to give a name for my email signature. And again, this is just in case you have, various email signatures in your account. You might have corporate ones that you like to use. And some of our clients, they like to do holiday ones. We have holiday ones, so you might want to do a Christmas one, a Thanksgiving one. You might want to change it up all the time just for fun. So let's call this my November corporate newsletter. Just one sec here, guys. I've got someone buzzing me. I forgot to turn myself off. Okay, so, sorry. Okay, my November corporate newsletter. I'm going to say, it's asking me if Microsoft Outlook is my email account. It's not. I'm Gmail, so I'm going to hit no, and I'm going to hit continue. Okay, so I have two different layouts for my templates. This one has all of my content sort of aligned to the left. This one has all of the content sort of in the middle. Okay, they're not that different from each other, but you can only do so many wacky layouts for email signatures. They don't really make sense. They have to be practical. If I want to see that a bit bigger, I can click on preview. It pops up a little bit bigger. If that's the layout I want to go with, I just hit select. Okay, and again, I'm in the back end. I've got a navigation bar across the top. I can always go back and look at my existing ones. I can choose a different template type, or I'm right now in the template library. So let's say I want to do sort of a corporate looking one. I like this one with the for sale sign. I can click preview, see it a little bit bigger. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. I can hit select. Actually, before I go in and make this, I'm just going to show you guys, we do have some fun holiday ones. So we have 4th of July, we have, fall, we have Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, New Year's. Okay. If there's ever a theme for anything that you guys, any of your clients ask for, just let us know. We are happy to make more templates to please any of our clients. I should mention, like, the bulk of our products that we make are at the recommendation of our clients. They'll say, hey, do you guys ever do this? Can you do that? Can you add this? And we'll say, sure, if people are going to use it, we'll make it for you. So let's go back to my real estate ones. I'm going to choose this one with the for sale sign. Okay, I just hit select and it takes me into the template editor. Now right here at the top, this is my actual email signature. Okay, and there are a few things I can do. Again, I've got my headshots and logos, headshot logo. If I want to change that, I just click and it changes right there. If I want to change my logo, I just click and it changes right there for me. If I want to change any of my contact info, I'm on the main tab. And here's all of these text fields. I can type right in here. Now I notice I don't have a state. If I wanted to add my state, I can just type in Texas and it shows up right there. And I have an extra comma. Okay, Austin, Texas. If I don't want my website, I can just delete and it deletes immediately from here. Okay, so any changes you want to make, you can do that right here in these text fields. Okay, next is view my listings. Now you'll notice on the email signature there is a view my listings link. So if you have a place where you can have all of your listings viewed, this is where we're going to do it. The first option is Realtour's House Hunt Maps. We're finally making the connection to House Hunt. So you have three options. You can view all of your listings on a Realtour House Hunt map. You just tick this box. If you have your own website and you want people to go to your website to view listings there, you can add a link, just tick right there. If you do not want your listings displayed, anyone to be able to click on your signature and view your listings, just click this one and it disappears. But let's take a look at House Hunt. So click here to view. I'm just going to click here so you can see what House Hunt is. So House Hunt, it's very simple. It's basically a Google map that will showcase all of your listings so people can see information about your listings on a map. So it's just a little marketing presentation really that you can use. Now obviously this is only going to display my listings. I don't want someone clicking on my email signature and seeing my competitors' listings. It's only going to see my listings. So I've got it. Now, I only have a handful of listings because I'm not a real estate agent, but if I had a bunch of listings, they would show up on here. And the reason we're zoomed out so far is because I, for some reason, have a listing in Washington, which I should just delete out of my account. But let's focus on Texas. So let's zoom in to Texas. Now, I only have 5 listings set up, but I've got 3 right here in Austin. If I mouse over, I get a little pop-up, shows me some key pictures. I can view the virtual tour. I can click on more details. I can see it on the map. I can add this to my favorites, right? So if I want to view the tour, just click. It's going to open a little pop-up of my tour that I can watch. And I apologize for the slowness, but webinar does that. There's my tour. Okay, nice little pop-up. So if I close the tour, I'm still on House Hunt. I'm not lost. Okay, it's got address, price, more details. It just opens up and there's my property description, more information about the house. There's my contact information if anybody wants to see that. Okay, so it's just a nice way for an agent to do a little, little digital presentation of their listings. Now, if you want more information, if you want to start using, if the viewer wants to start using House Hunt, or if the real estate agent does, I mean, you can log in to House Hunt and you just use your Realtour account, and then you can search for any listing that is on Realtor.biz. So not right now, we're just looking at mine, but if I want to look at anybody else's listings, I can log in and do a search and I'll see how many Realtor listings are in Austin, Dallas, so on and so forth, that kind of thing. You can also do some basic stuff. If you zoom in more, you can search for amenities, shopping malls, retail stores, restaurants, all that stuff, okay? So that is House Hunt. Basically just a little property search, but you can use it as a little marketing tool to showcase all of your stuff. View my listings. Next up is adding social media. So again, you would need to copy and paste the URLs to all of your social media pages. Now I'm not going to do that because it takes time. I'm just going to type in a letter, but as I'm typing in a letter, you can see they're appearing right here. Okay, if I had all of those, there we go. They would appear on my email signature. Last but not least, disclaimer. This is optional. If you have a disclaimer, you can copy and paste it or type it into this text field, or we have provided you with a very basic short little disclaimer right here. If you want to use ours, just hit yes and it will show up right there in your email signature. If you want to add your own, copy and paste it or type it right here and it will show up in the same spot. All right, so that is it. That's how quick you can make an email signature. Now I can hit continue. Move to the view proof page. So give your email signature a quick proof. Click on these links. These links are now live. Make sure they go to the appropriate pages. Okay, and when you're done, you go to the shopping cart. Now our, I'll get out of there because I didn't really do that. Our standard email signatures are $18.99. The holiday ones are only $7.99. And those ones are cheaper because we figure people, you're only going to use them for a week or two. So just for fun, if you want to do a Christmas one or a Halloween one, for $7.99, you can have a fun, signature for a few weeks. I'm going to go back to the existing items. So these are my existing email signatures I've made. Now, how do I get my email signature into my actual email? So it's different for everybody because everybody has different email providers. We've got instructions right here. Now we've provided instructions for the four most popular browsers. We've got Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook, and Yahoo. Okay, if you scroll down, you'll see sort of a step-by-step how to get it in there. Okay. Once you've paid for it, you'll have a demo. This one we just made, I didn't pay for it, so I can either edit it or delete it. But once I've paid for one, I can download it. If I click on download, okay, this is going to pop up. It's an HTML file, so I'm going to hit save. It's going to save it into my downloads, which goes right up in here because I'm using Windows 10. Double click that, open it up. There it is. Click on it, open it up. There's my email signature. Now I need to click in there and I need to select all. Okay, I can right click and do that, or I can hit Control A, and then I'm going to copy, Control copy, and then I just go into my email provider, which is Gmail, and I believe I go into my settings. Okay, and right here on the main settings, if I scroll down, here's the signature area. I would just click in here and Control V or right click paste. There it is. Scroll down to the bottom, hit Save Changes, and now this is going to be my email signature. Okay, now it's going to be a slightly different process if you're Hotmail, if you're Outlook, but our instructions will take you through that and you can just go step by step. Okay, and if you ever want to come in and change it, you just come into your settings, click on it to select it, which I'll do right now, and now I'm going to delete it, so now it's out of there. Okay, I guess I don't have to save changes because I didn't actually do anything. Okay, back to my inbox. So that's how you do it if you are Gmail. So it's really easy. Okay, back to the dashboard page. All right, so there you have it. Today's session is basically done. We went through newsletters, making a ready-to-send one or a build your own, the listing presentation, which is basically just sort of a little digital resume about yourself, these services you have to offer, email signature, which links to House Hunt, which is just a digital presentation of all your listings on a map. There you go. So yesterday's session, marketing tools for advertising your listings. Today's session, some branding tools for advertising yourself. Okay? There we go. That is the end of our session. So let me know if you have any questions. Amanda, whose email address I sent you I put it in the chat there, she handles all of our client support, and as I said, she does amazing newsletters, and she's done a few for some of our other sales reps. So get in touch with her if you want to do a newsletter, and if you have any questions, just email Amanda or email myself, and I will put this up on YouTube so everybody else can watch it if they want. I'm going to stop recording.